Welcome to Wellness Talk. I'm George Batista, your host and your wellness advocate. Wellness Talk, as always, is the show that goes over the latest in health and healing, and nutrition, and supplements. We take the mystery out of supplements and take the mystery out of health. Glad you guys could be with me today and hope you guys have had a great week. Make sure you go to georgebatista.com as always to check out all the articles that we go over. And before we get into our topics this week, I have a few announcements to go over. First of all, those of you who may be watching this on video, obviously that's a big change from what we normally do. Normally, this podcast is an audio version that goes out across all the platforms, but I'm making the change and making it now also a video podcast. So those of you who would like to consume this video version, I'm going to tell you exactly where you'd be able to do that as well in a couple of minutes. But another announcement that we have is that the Wellness Talk brand is actually going to be combined with another brand. So those of you, some of you may or may not know that I do another show, another podcast. I'm actually the co-host of a podcast called the Counterparts Show. And on that show, John Soto and we do interviews with all different types of people from all walks of life. We talk to actors and musicians and medical professionals and fitness people, nutritionists, all different types of folks like that. And it's a very inspirational show. It's a lot of fun to do, but we get to really kind of delve into the background of these folks and find out exactly why they do what they do and how they got to where they are and that type of thing. So it's a lot of fun. But that show, by the way, is live on Tuesday nights for those of you who haven't seen it. But the big thing is that Wellness Talk is actually going to be joining with the Counterparts show. So basically, Wellness Talk each week is going to be brought to you by the Counterparts show. And the reason why we're doing this is we felt it was easier to just combine both brands, offer way more content to everyone. And it's just a lot easier when we're combining the shows and doing the shows and doing that type of thing. So those of you who do want to watch the video portion of this podcast, you'll be able to see it on the Counterparts YouTube page. So if you just go to Counterparts Show on YouTube, you'll be able to check out all these videos, the Wellness Talk videos, podcast, if you want to see it that way. You'll also be able to go to georgebatista.com and see it there as well. It'll be pre-recorded there. And it'll also be on the other platforms that we normally put it on, BitChute and Brighteon TV and that type of thing. Those of you who normally consume it audio only, then you can continue to consume it, that way as well. It's still going to be available on audio, all the audio platforms that are out there. So so that's the big change. Other than that, there's going to be no change to Wellness Talk. It's still going to be brought to you every week. We're still going to go over the latest in health and healing and nutrition, and all the articles and everything will still be on my website, georgebatista.com. So you could always check that out there. So it's a bit of an expansion. But other than that, that's pretty much, what the changes are. So those of you who do like the Wellness Talk podcast and only like the health portions of that, then, you just continue to follow that. And thank you again for your support for those of you who do all around the world. But those of you who want to check out Counterparts and want to see all the stuff we're doing there and all the interviews and that type of thing, then check us out at counterparts.com. That's the website has all the information there and all the videos that we've done. And also you can go to the YouTube page and check that out. Okay. So that's pretty much what we've got going on. And it's exciting. And I think, like I said, bringing you more content is going to be just an overall good thing in the end. All right. So other than that, we're going to talk about our topics this week. So our first topic this week is going to be on what's called ashwagandha. Okay. And it's our wellness resources article of the week. And it's ashwagandha, champion of stress adaptation and thyroid and vitality. So ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb, and it's one of those things that has been used for centuries for stress tolerance and just overall detoxification and that type of thing. So we're going to talk about what it does. We're going to talk about exactly what products have it, why you should be taking it if you're dealing with stress or thyroid issues or anything like that. And, we're going to talk about just all things ashwagandha. I think you're going to get some good information on that. And by the way, I had, if you look at a couple of shows back, I did do an article on ashwagandha and memory. So those of you who want to check out the studies that I talked about in the past show, make sure you reference those podcasts. I think it was either the last week or the week before. Then we're going to talk about resveratrol blood pressure benefits may pass from mother to child. And this is out of the University of Alberta and University of Adelaide. And this is one of those things where they used mice actually to uh, show the benefits of resveratrol and how the benefits actually pass down from the parents down to the mice offspring, and how it affected blood pressure. So I think you're going to find this very, very interesting. And this kind of plays into the whole thing of epigenetics and genetics, and whether diseases are actually genetic or not genetic, and what are the components of that. So I think you'll get a kick out of this article because it's brand new information. It was out May 4th, 2022. So I think it's going to be good information for you guys, especially resveratrol, which is a great compound. Those of you who are dealing with any kind of heart issues or blood pressure issues or anything like that. Then we're going to talk about vitamin C and diabetes. Some folks may just think about vitamin C as their immune system. Vitamin C does so many things. It's not just about the immune system. It's got so many other functions in the human body. Well, this is new science on it. This is by Dr. Julian Whitaker, and he talks about vitamin C and how it affects blood sugar. And there's some studies in this article I think you will, I think you will find very, very interesting, because again, it goes into oxidative stress. And we all know that diabetes and all different types, pretty much any disease really is a form of oxidative stress. So, diabetes is no different, but vitamin C also had an effect on blood sugar itself. And there's some really good studies on how it affected the blood sugar. So we're going to go over that. And I think you'll find that of interest. Then finally, our nutrient for the week, our nutrient spotlight for the week is on Wellness Resources Daily Detoxify. And it's the top liver and kidney support formula. So we're going to talk about detoxification. We're going to talk about what Daily Detoxify does, what's in it, all the different ingredients that are in it, and why it's such a fantastic formula for detoxification purposes. We all need to detox, by the way, right? Because, we're just living in a very stressful, very polluted environment, just overall in general, whether it's the foods or whether it's the environment or whatever it is. So this is a great formula if for those of you who are interested in making sure your systems are functioning properly and you're getting a good detoxification out of it. So we'll go over that. So that's what's on tap for this week. So let's get started. All right. So our first article this week is, again, our Wellness Resources article of the week, and that's Ashwaganda. It's the champion of stress adaptation, thyroid, and vitality. Now, a few things about ashwagandha. It's an Ayurvedic herb, and it's been around for 3,000 years. Okay. And it's got a it's been used for multitude of purposes. It's traditionally been used for stress, weakness, male health and female health. But they found later in the later years that it's actually really good for thyroid health as well, supporting thyroid function, supporting brain function, mood function, tolerance, supporting sleep, athletic recovery. Just has countless bioactive benefits. So again, this is one of those really popular Ayurvedic herbs, and there are many countries that are using it still to this day. Now, ashwagandha is also known as Indian ginseng, and it contains a lot of different compounds, most notably what's called analide and alkaloids. Okay, but it also contains flavonoids and glycosides. It contains what's called phenolics and steroids and saponins. Okay, but again, these are all natural, right? When I say steroids, it's actually all natural stuff. Okay, so these compounds have been proven beneficial and they have beneficial properties. So these properties are very good when they're combined together in this type of in this herb, and they're used properly. Again, when you're dealing with stress and when you're dealing with all these types of things. Now, Ashwagandha does act as an adaptogen to help your body manage numerous stress signals. Now, who is it again? Who isn't under stress these days? We're all under stress, all different types of things going on, right? So, especially in the last 2 years, if you really think about it. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the double-blind studies that have gone on with ashwagandha. So there was a double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled trial published in March 2018, and this was out of the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine. And they studied the effectiveness of ashwagandha on sluggish thyroid activity, and they found that individuals that were given 600 milligrams a day of ashwagandha root for 8 weeks, they showed an enhancement in their thyroid gland function and hormone activity just with the use of this herb. Okay. So those of you who are dealing or know people who are dealing with thyroid issues or think you may have thyroid issues and have gotten tested and that type of thing, this is one of those things that actually has been known to help out very, very well, by the way. But again, we talk about stress relief as well. It has multiple benefits as far as improving the stress tolerance. So what it does is it modulates the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and that's basically part of your sympathetic nervous system. And this is what helps to modulate mood and autonomic nervous system stress effects. Okay. So this action, basically what it does is provide substantial anti-stress effects for the brain and the neuroendocrine system. Now, ashwagandha has been shown to also have a calming effect on the brain. So you have this system in the brain called GABA, okay? And GABA is basically kind of your it's a neurotransmitter, and it's primary your neurotransmitter relaxant. Okay, helps you relax, and ashwagandha has a very calming effect and helps to support GABA and basically helps you with relaxation. Okay, so that's a good thing, right? In another study of a group of 60 adults were given 240 milligrams of ashwagandha once per day or a placebo, and they were measuring stress tolerance and relief. And in this trial, several stress assessments were made on mood, cortisol, and also testosterone. And what they found was that uh, those who received the herb had significant reduction in overall stress levels, improvement in mood, and lowered blood levels of morning cortisol levels. So again, it helped to reduce blood levels and that type of thing. So I think, when it comes to stress and mood, ashwagandha is one of those stars that definitely you should think about. Now, it also helps women's health. There was an 8-week randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial for perimenopausal women, and they gave them 300 milligrams of ashwagandha twice a day or a placebo. And what they found was that it actually helped with hot flashes. It helped with insomnia. It helped just with overall mood, and it just basically help women with positive changes as far as just overall mood and an overall sense of well-being. So again, ashwagandha shines with women's health. It also helps with men's health, actually. Okay, there's been more studies on it as well. They did a study with healthy men aged 18 to 50. Participants were given a placebo or 600 milligrams a day for 8 weeks. And what did they find? They find greater muscle strength. They found there was more strength when they were doing bench pressing and more exercises. They measured, there was lab measurements, and they showed more muscle help with muscle engagement. Okay, increased testosterone levels and a lower body fat percentage for those men who were working out regularly. So fantastic also for the guys out there, especially if you're an athlete working out, that type of thing. Now, it also helps with metabolism. It's a cell modulator and a regenerator. So studies demonstrate that compounds within ashwagandha act as apoptotic agents. Now, apoptosis is when it's basically cell death. Is when a cell dies. Okay, so what it does is it actually modulated inflammatory responses, and it actually helped with cell death. Okay. So it actually helps to attenuate cellular mechanisms and compounds involved with irregular cell growth and invasion. Very, very, very important stuff. It also help with cognitive and memory enhancements. This is what I was talking about with one of the studies that I talked about last week. So it also aids in nerve and synapses growth. It also helps to support activity of the function of neurotransmitters, again, like GABA, acetylcholine, dopamine, and serotonin. So, fantastic, fantastic supplement. You can take it as a supplement, by the way. So, and by the way, Wellness Resources has a great supplement called Thyroid Helper. I've talked about it on this show before, and it does have ashwagandha in it. So, and it's great because it's not only pairing the compounds like selenium and the other compounds that are in it to help with just normalizing thyroid function or helping to support thyroid function, but again, it's also dealing with the effects of stress, the effects of any kind of cognitive decline, the effects of mood. So when you combine it with a great, in a great thyroid supplement like Thyroid Helper, you're getting really fantastic benefits from this. So again, ashwagandha, it's fantastic. Ashwagandha is, as far as in Wellness Resources Thyroid Helper, it's 500 milligrams per servings of 2 capsules. So I've definitely checked that out. And again, go down to the description where you can go to myvitaminresource.com, click on it, and check out Thyroid Helper for those of you who need some help or some support on the thyroid side of things. So ashwagandha, fantastic, fantastic root. Something to think about if you're dealing with that, whether it's energy or just mood support or stress support or anything like that. Next, we're going to talk about resveratrol. And blood pressure benefits may pass from mother to child. And this is from the University of Alberta and the University of Adelaide. And this was an interesting study. And what they did, so first of all, those of you who don't know, resveratrol is a compound found in grapes, found in red wine as well. And it's one of those compounds that's very, very good for heart health. And it's fantastic as far as helping to expand nitric oxide in your body, and just has a whole host of benefits. Well, they wanted to study in these studies. They wanted to study how hypertensive rats, okay, when they had offspring, if they gave those hypertensive rats resveratrol, if it affected the offspring, and if the offsprings ended up hypertensive or had those issues as well. Well, this is what they found. It was a new study, and they supplemented the diets of spontaneously hypertensive female rats with 0 to 4 grams per kilogram diet of resveratrol from gestational day 0.5 until postnatal day 21. The offspring of these rats were then followed to adulthood, and the results showed that the adult offspring has significantly lower blood pressure than their mothers. Okay, so think about that. They actually could measure the blood pressure, and they found that the blood pressure issues did not pass from mother to child. Okay, so you think about uh, this whole concept of genetics and that type of thing, and how they say everything is genetic and everything uh everything gets passed down. My parents had it, and my great grandparents had it, and all this type of thing. But again, when you look at the science of epigenetics, and that's really the key in genetics, is epigenetics, which the latest science shows you that actually nutrition and environment is actually what affects the genes, okay, or the epigenes, okay. Remember, you can affect your what's called your epigenes, but you can't change your genes actually, like hair color, eye color, those types of things, but you can affect your epigenes. These are the genes that change. And so when they say that people have a gene for diabetes or genes for cancer or genes for heart disease or genes for whatever, these can be affected, and nutrition affects that. And this study actually proves that. Okay, this is one of the, and there's been many studies on it, on different types of mice and animal studies and that type of thing. But again, it goes to the overall premise of, if the nutrition, if you've got the nutrition there, and you're making sure that you have the proper nutrition, which everybody needs, okay, then you have less of a chance of activating these genes that actually activate high blood pressure and high blood sugar and cancer and all these types of things. So just again, something to think about. But resveratrol is a fantastic thing for blood pressure. Those of you who, you know, a top choice as far as resveratrol, by the way, with Wellness Resources, they have a great supplement. They have two supplements actually. One called Cardio Helper, with has resveratrol in it, and then they have another one called Trans Resveratrol, which is a great supplement in and of itself. If you just want to take that, so check out those two for for supporting cardiovascular health. But resveratrol and great science on this brand new stuff. All right. Next, we're going to talk about vitamin C and diabetes. And again, this is by Dr. Julian Whitaker. And again, vitamin C, a lot of people think about vitamin C as just the antioxidant. They think about it as just enhancing your immune system, maybe taking it when you're, when you're sick or whatever the case may be. But vitamin C just does so many other things aside from that. Okay, vitamin C is, first of all, vitamin C uh, absorbs very well with iron. It actually helps with iron absorption. Vitamin C helps with collagen synthesis. Okay, it's involved in the collagen synthesis process. So if you don't have enough vitamin C, you're actually not making the compounds that help to make collagen. Okay, so you got to remember that. Okay, obviously vitamin C is an antioxidant that helps with the immune system as well. Vitamin C is also a very good antihistamine. Okay, so those of you who are dealing with allergies and these months that are these months that we're in now, these are very powerful allergy months, people dealing with all different types of allergies. So vitamin C is also very good with that. And if you combine that with other allergic compounds as well, it's fantastic. Worked very well. I've used it for myself and my allergies. So just something to think about. But anyway, in this, vitamin C again really doesn't come up when it comes to things like high blood sugar. Now, one of the things that you have to realize about this is that people with high blood sugar, diabetes, or severe diabetes also suffer from oxidative stress. Okay. Oxidative stress is a major player in insulin resistance and the progression of diabetes in general, right? So, why do we have the oxidative stress? Again, because it's a higher burden on the human body. Okay, and people with higher levels of oxidative stress tend to have lower antioxidants. Okay, so the more antioxidants you put in your body, the more your body's able to handle the oxidative stress of whatever that you're dealing with. Okay, so again, it's no different with diabetes. Now, think about what happens in the diabetic process, right? Because normally your kidneys reabsorb glucose, okay, and as it filters out through your blood. But when blood sugar gets really high, okay, then it becomes a very difficult thing for the kidneys to keep up as far as filtering and reabsorbing glucose. So what ends up happening, glucose starts to spill over into the urine, okay, and this is why people end up having frequent urination when they are diabetic, when they're just having blood sugar issues. And so you get not only excessive urination, but you get again blood sugar in the urine. Okay, and again, that's all part of the oxidative stress process. So antioxidants also get flushed out. Okay, so when you're urinating excessively, okay, again in the diabetes process, antioxidants also get flushed out. So you want to make sure you're taking in those antioxidants to deal with it, right? Whether it's vitamin C or whatever antioxidants you want to take, but vitamin C is the number one antioxidant if you really think about it. So couple of things. There were population studies that have linked a high intake of vitamin C with reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. There has been clinical trials that show that supplemental vitamin C helps with blood sugar control. Okay, so this is what they did. So there was multiple studies that have linked vitamin C status with the better insulin sensitivity and lower A1C. A1C is the blood test that measures the average blood sugar over a period of time, right? Typically over a period of 3 months. So they found that people who had higher vitamin C ended up having a better outcome with insulin sensitivity and diabetes in general. And so it was Australian researchers that actually conducted a small clinical trial involving patients who had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes for an average of 5 to 6 years. And they were divided into two groups. Half took vitamin C, 500 milligrams twice a day, and the other half took placebo. And all study participants consumed standardized meals and were followed for 4 months and continued glucose monitoring. So they looked at average spikes after blood sugar, after meals, 30. So they found that the blood sugar spikes after meals were 36% lower in the vitamin C group than in the placebo group. Okay, so that's a big telling thing. But also they also had overall better glucose control. Okay, so their blood sugar was elevated for nearly 3 fewer hours a day. And in addition, participants in the vitamin C group who had hypertension experienced significant drops in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. So that's significant. Okay. So it's not only the oxidative stress issue, but just overall blood sugar management was better in the group that took the vitamin C. So I recommend taking vitamin C every day, whether it's starting at 1,000 milligrams or maybe taking in a divided doses, taking 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 in the afternoon. That's typically what I take. I actually take more than that. But either way, not only you're helping your immune system, you're helping all different types of things in your body, but you're also helping now with glucose control. Now, obviously, you don't want vitamin C is not going to be the be all end all when it comes to diabetes and glucose control. You want to do the overall thing, right? You want to make sure that you are eating good. You want to make sure that you are exercising. You want to make sure that you are, using your muscles as much as you can to control your overall glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity. But at least you know that vitamin C can be a major player in this as well. And vitamin C is fairly cheap. You can get it pretty much at most stores pretty cheaply. So check it out, vitamin C for glucose control. This is a great article, and I think it's something worth checking into if you are dealing with any kind of glucose problems. Okay, and finally, our nutrient spotlight for the week. It's called Daily Detoxify, and this is again by Wellness Resources. Is the top liver and kidney support formula. And we'll go over exactly what it has and what it does. So obviously, again, talking about stress, we're under stress, we're under all types of pollution. We need to obviously detox as much as possible, right? Pollution is a big thing, especially if you live in a city like New York City or Los Angeles or those types of things. So your body's under constant physical, chemical, and emotional stress pretty much every single day. So detoxing is a great way to do that. Okay. And, but it requires making sure that your systems are working optimally and making sure they're able to detox and your kidneys are able to detox, and the liver is going to be the major player in this, right? Because you have to remember that larger waste products released by cells move into the lymphatic system. I talked about the lymphatic system before. It doesn't have a pump, but it's your drainage system that you have, okay? And then it basically drains into the bloodstream and then goes to the liver. And what the liver does, by the way, the liver converts some of these waste products into smaller water soluble compounds, which are sent to the kidneys for removal through the urine. So that's kind of how, a basic way the waste system works now. And when you have more of the fat soluble compounds, they're placed into bile and secreted through the digestive tract. Okay. Now, problems in the lymph and digestive tract interfere with the natural detoxification process. So this is not what you want, because then your detoxification systems are not working properly. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about detoxification, how your liver does it. Your liver detoxifies in two phases. You have phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. Okay. So phase 1 involves these enzymes that are called 450 enzymes. They're cytochrome 450 enzymes. Okay. And they require certain antioxidants to work functionally properly. Okay, and one of them, by the way, is glutathione peroxidase. That's very important in the detoxification process, especially when it comes to phase one detoxification. Okay, so the phase one detoxification, the liver starts, and what the liver does is it basically either deactivates a toxin, okay, or it modifies the toxin so that the phase two system can get rid of it. Okay, so think of it as kind of your liver in phase one takes these toxins and kind of opens it and it kind of activates it and then deactivates it, and then phase two takes it and then brings it out and gets rid of it through the system. So the smaller molecules are added to the toxin to help actually excrete it. Okay, so it's a beautiful system the way their liver does it, and then it excretes it either through the bile or it excretes it through the urine. Okay, and this is a process known as conjugation. Now this system requires energy. Okay, so you have to have a good energy. Your mitochondria is definitely involved in this process of detoxification, and and also the supply of molecules attached to the toxins in order for it to work properly and basically get secreted out of your system. Okay, so again, it's a beautiful system from beginning to end. So what does this supplement have that aids in the detoxification? Number one, it has something called milk thistle. Okay, and what milk thistle is, it's an extract that helps to not only protect liver cells from toxins, but it helps to support phase two detoxification and the whole detoxification system. It actually helps to maintain the glutathione peroxidase levels and helps the enzymes work together with the antioxidants to help convert that phase from the phase one to the phase two detoxification process. So milk thistle is a huge component in this. Okay. Another thing that's involved in this is dandelion root. Okay. Dandelion root has been used for many years as folk medicine for centuries. Okay. And it's typically used as a liver tonic. It works for weak digestion, and it also works for gallbladder aid. But again, it also helps to enhance the flow of bile. Okay, so when your liver is and your bile system are working to detoxify, dandelion root helps to really smooth out this process, and again helps with the excretion process. Then also you have what's called R-alpha lipoic acid. Okay, and what R-alpha lipoic acid is, it's a very small molecule. It's an antioxidant and helps to support both fat and water soluble detoxification molecules. It helps to deactivate a wide range of free radicals, and it also helps to again maintain and improve the status of antioxidants like vitamin C and glutathione and milk thistle and all those types of things. Very important in this process. There's also a compound called chlorella. Now, chlorella, which is spelled CHLORELLA. It's an algae, and it contains proteins that are rich in what's called nucleic acids. And chlorella basically, again, is a great detoxifier. It's a cleanser. People have been using this for a long time. It helps to not only detoxify your system, it helps with attaching to different types of toxin in your system, like heavy metals and things like that. It absorbs toxic materials. It helps to assist with constipation, helps to assist with gas and bloating, all these types of things. And again, helps with the removal system. Then we have resveratrol, which we've talked about. Resveratrol helps with phase two detoxification, again, to support that whole process. And then there's something else called N-acetylcysteine. Now, that is a sulfur-containing compound that is central to the production of glutathione and also helps the ability of the liver to clear toxins. Okay. Then there's so many things in the supplement. It's just fantastic. That's why it's one of the best supplements as far as detoxification. Another thing is taurine and glycine, which are two amino acids. I've talked about glycine a lot on this podcast, but they both play significant roles in phase two detoxification and enhancing bile flow. And taurine actually helps to clear aldehyde chemicals and chlorine and all different things like that out of your body, because glycine and taurine, what they do is they bind to these things and again help to bring it out of the system. So these are all fantastic things. If you want to enhance the detoxification process with not only this supplement, I would suggest top choices like Fiber Helper. So fiber also is another thing that grabs molecules and brings them out of the system. Pantethine is great for that as well. Again, Thyroid Helper, Sulfur Plus is another one, and Immune Plus. These are all great supplements from Wellness Resources. Again, Wellness Resources has been around for 35 years. Their supplements are clinically tested, and they are the go-to supplement company that I use and that I help with, when I've worked with people all around the world. So check it out. But again, this is a fantastic supplement. It's called, again, Daily Detoxify. It's the top liver and kidney support formula. So check it out. Again, go to myvitaminresource.com or just check it out at the bottom link. But I think you will find this supplement very, very, very good for you for detoxification purposes. Okay, so that's pretty much what we got for this week. Glad you guys could be with me. Again, make sure you go to georgebatista.com. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you again for supporting this show. We're going to be bringing you much more content throughout the moving forward. So I hope you enjoyed this. And so until I see you again, make sure you take care of yourselves and each other. And as always, don't forget, take care of your health and take control of your health. Take care now.